The DeepSeek Sputnik moment. Why open source AI has terrified the billionaires. AI is changing everything, but the billionaires are scared. Not of AI itself, but of losing control over it. They told us AI was too dangerous. They said it had to be locked away. They built walls around their models. They kept the best tools for themselves. Then DeepSeek was released. A fully open source AI model. No corporate leash. No hidden restrictions. DeepSeek R1 is not just another model. It proves that open source AI can rival closed models. It was trained on NVIDIA GPU, but it can run inference on Apple Mon, City 6, and other chips, breaking the myth that powerful AI needs exclusive hardware. There are even versions now that run on phones or old laptops. AI is no longer locked behind billion-dollar server farms. It is everywhere. DeepSeek also used reinforcement learning, the same method that made AlphaGo a champion. An AI learns through trial and error. It interacts with data, receives rewards for good decisions, and optimizes itself over time. This creates a self-improving flywheel. The more the model is used, the better it gets, without direct human intervention. This is what terrifies the billionaires. They saw power slipping away. They saw a world where anyone could build their own intelligence. Now they are scrambling to regulate, to gatekeep, to make sure AI stays in their hands. They say it is about safety. They say it is about responsibility, but it is really about control. They need AI to stay scarce. They need to sell access. They need to be the only ones who decide what AI can and cannot do. But game theory says they have already lost. In a closed system, a monopoly can last. But in an open system, the incentive shift. Let's analyze this as directly as we can. Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, and OpenAI want to keep AI centralized to maximize their return on investment. But their competitors could not afford to play by those rules because of the training costs involved. Meta released LLM to weaken Microsoft and Google's position. Amazon has decided to act as a host for open source models. Mistral released powerful small models as a challenge to the big players. DeepSeek proved that open source AI from China can compete. And of course there are conspiracy theories. China may have just used open source as a weapon against the American economy. If so, this is just like what the tech companies are doing but at the nation-state level. Maybe it costs $6 million. Maybe it costs more than $6 million. Does it really matter? They released it under a permissive open source license with a research paper, and people are validating the results independently. It is real. That's all that matters. And then there are countless efforts in academic research groups, and organizations like Hugging Face, Stability AI, Alama, LangChain, and Mozilla AI. They are the open source AI community's core. Every open source model is an assault on the AI monopolies. The incentives are clear for the players involved. And now open source is caught up with the best paid models. $200 per hour versus free. Both free as in beer and free as in speech. Yes, it has issues because of the source, but they put out a research paper describing how they did it. It is being replicated everywhere. It will be everywhere. And there will be more algorithmic improvements in follow-on work. This is inevitable. The reason is simple. Reinforcement learning tells us that agents optimize for rewards. This is just like humans and organizations. Big tech optimizes for control. Smaller competitors optimize for survival. Open source optimizes for freedom. The AI industry is an iterated game. If smaller companies play by big tech's rules, they lose. If they defect and embrace open source models, they gain an advantage. It is the top players against everyone else. By themselves, they cannot compete. But together, they can. This is a prisoner's dilemma. If everyone cooperates with AI monopolies, the monopolies win. But the first to defect forces everyone else to defect too. That is why open source AI models keep improving. Because every player who is not at the top uses open source AI as a weapon to break the monopolies before they become unstoppable. They will use China as a fear tactic. They will use fear to justify restrictions. But this is not about USA versus China. This is about open source versus closed AI. DeepSeek's own model is particularly disruptive. It challenges the idea that only trillion-dollar companies can build cutting-edge AI. The best talent is leaving big tech. The open source AI movement is rising. The monopoly is breaking. This is the Sputnik moment. The realization that they are losing. They will try to stop it, but they will fail. Just like the printing press. Just like open source software. Just like encryption. They will fight it until they lose. The technology is moving fast. Investors have to put money into current technology and algorithms. Each model training operation is extremely expensive. Those technologies and algorithms will be wiped out by the next breakthroughs. These happen on the order of months now. Chain of thought, mixture of experts integration, long context, self-reflection, distillation, low raw, reasoning models, tool usage, retrieval augmented generation integration, all-star math paper, DeepSeek R1 paper, the list goes on, and new breakthroughs will keep coming. AI will be free, not because they allow it, but because no one can stop it. They are afraid.